Hello, my friends. My name is Russell Wright. I'd like to welcome you to the amazing journey of building your ISDNA, which is the beginning foundational part of what we call the perpetual lead magnet machine. Questions are the answer. Because the ISDNA is the foundation of this complete stackable cybernetic business system. When I say cybernetic business system, that just means a fusion between the human world and the machine world. It's a part of our stackable perpetual lead magnet machine. As you can see, the foundation of this stackable perpetual passive income machine is your ISDNA. That's the foundation. And we like to remind all of our students that the internet and the web and internet marketing is all about human beings. It's not about machines. So don't chase automatic income without understanding the pains and the suffering in any given market and what drives that market. And that all begins with questions. So, the definition of the ISDNA, just so you don't get confused when we throw around DNA this and DNA that. IS simply means industry solution. Other students like to view it as innovative solution. DNA only means the stackable components of, or the parts that make up the whole. Three purposes of the ISDNA: to help you extract the appropriate frequently asked keywords for later analysis using the recommended natural language processing application, or TLKT in Kraken. To help you expand your current frequently asked keywords, question keywords, into a broader topic and theme by enhancing the original questions. We call these should ask questions. To help you position yourself or your client as the only viable solution or painkiller in a given industry, market, or niche. And what happens when you begin to connect frequently asked questions with should ask questions, you begin to become perceived via framing or context as the only viable option by virtue of the fact you're providing the most expert advice. So questions are the answer. Most marketers and business owners forget these basics. Here's a chart of the actual scientific process that begins with asking a question, selecting a question that can be answered through investigation, experimenting or observing, testing, reflect on what happened, and ask more questions. This is an exact process of FAQs moving to SAQs in a clockwise fashion. And yet, even though this is so incredibly simple, this idea, it is the basis for all scientific introspection. I want to give special credit to Mike Koenig from Traffic Geyser for teaching me about the FAQ SAQ process so that we were able to take it to the next level using natural language processing and our vertical online market analysis tool called Kraken and the last keyword tool. Questions are the answer. The basic products or innovations are created by asking a question about a problem and using innovations to solve it. The hammer versus the nail gun. I like this picture because it shows that sometimes our best inventions are not as useful as the original tool. And this is an example of a failed pneumatic hammer that didn't have enough torque to be as useful as an actual hammer, as you can see in this funny picture. And this brings up the issue of the Innovators Dilemma. Since we're dealing with the ISDNA, or the Innovation Solution, let's go ahead and look at what I'm really trying to get you to do and how I'm trying to help you position your product, company, service, or brand in the marketplace using innovation. The ultimate goal of the ISDNA process is to help you leverage the paradox of the Innovator's Dilemma while simultaneously solving it. The Innovator's Dilemma is the fact that disruptive technologies tend to be dismissed before they are recognized by industry leaders. Henry Ford said, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses." Henry Ford. Here's a fantastic video by UPS. It's a great video that shows how the Innovator's Dilemma actually works in the context of Henry Ford. And it's something that everybody should pay attention to because it really teaches you how you need to be in competition with yourself and how that every kind of innovation reaches a critical mass where the context or the category confusion of that product or service is no longer relevant. And in order to stay relevant, you need to understand how to be your biggest competition. Rather than viewing competition as outside your products and services, you need to compete with yourself. This is a fantastic video discovering the Innovator's Dilemma, and the ISDNA perpetual machine that we're showing you here will make sure that you're always way ahead of the curve and always cutting edge. And this is really the Innovator's Solution. There's another book by Clayton Christensen. The Innovators Solution is to always stay in competition with yourself. In other words, always be in a constant state of innovation. So the IS DNA, or the Industry Solution DNA, and the components that make it up in this perpetual lead magnet machine, is a foundation state of question-based product innovation in order to constantly create better questions and products for your company before your competition even gets the chance. And you can set this up automatically, so it's not a big deal. So the ISDNA, or Innovators Solution, how is this done? By collecting frequently asked questions, frequently asked industry questions, and by collecting should ask questions or should ask industry questions from your own company, development team, research and development team, or your CEO. By zooming in on the gray area between these two polarities and creating a controversy with a better question. And that's great for marketing too, by the way, because remember, we're in an environment online right now where education is the new marketing. By providing better answers to the questions or problems, this is one of the main ways the ISDNA will help you stay ahead of the curve. And by providing better content responding to these questions. When all these work together, you can use your education, your innovation, and your R&D as one single unit. By innovating better products and services with better results. And here's a little diagram that again shows the overlap between frequently asked questions. Those are the questions that the market is already asking out there in internet land, and the should ask question, which your team comes up with your distinct industry positioning, formerly called a USP, or unique selling point. Let me give you an example within my own company of a transition from a frequently asked question to a should ask question. For example, when we launched ThemeZoom, a vertical online market analysis tool, which is kind of a keyword research tool times 1,000 and a lot more expensive to build, a common question or frequently asked question in the industry was, what is keyword research and how do I perform it? Okay, well, that's a great question, and it's not our job to ignore those questions. We still have to answer the questions that are in the industry because it's related to our market. But our product took keyword research to an entire different level, a whole nother level. As a result, we had to come up with some should-ask questions. And a should-ask question would be, okay, what is the difference between keyword research and market research? Since our tool was the first of its kind to incorporate actual vertical market research principles with keyword research, we were able to create a fusion between the two, and our overlap was our should ask question, and that became a huge component of the first foundational steps of building our online pyramid and empire, and that was our core ISDNA. And of course, you can imagine how that affects branding and positioning. Your company, service, product, and or innovation or marketing team has similar processes that it needs to undergo in order to position yourself in the market in a way that has no competition and doesn't compete and is seen as the only viable option in your industry. So, questions are the ultimate positioning technology, since machines cannot yet formulate a better question yet. We don't have artificial intelligence. Larry Page, however, was heard to say, a lot of our Google systems already use learning techniques. The ultimate search engine would understand everything in the world. It would understand everything that you ask it and give you back the exact right thing instantly. You could ask, what should I ask Larry? And it would tell you. This was Larry Page 3 years ago on artificial intelligence. The closest we can get to a better question machine is to extract the keywords and themes from the industry FAQs and use Painkiller marketing. Here's a diagram that I created that has two of the four overlapping cybernetic systems where neuromarketing and natural language processing create the dynamic between questions and keyword research. We developed Kraken to be the ultimate keyword and theme clustering tool, but garbage in, garbage out. You still have to type in at least one keyword for us to drill into to bring back those topics and themes. This is an example of cybernetics, of a fusion between questioning and data. ISDNA It's something we cover very well in the Network Empires members area. Perhaps you're already there and that's where you're watching this video or viewing our slideshow. If not, you should join us, networkempire.com. You can sign up for the members area and learn more exactly how you might position your own company through a rather sophisticated but simple process that is stackable, allowing you to position yourself in the market and use some killer tactics and technologies not available anywhere else. So we will review the process here, and we will give you a top secret method not discussed anywhere on the web, an advanced method of micro content curation and syndication that will decrease your content planning time by 2,000%. We provide that to our members in the Network Empire membership area. So there are many places to extract your frequently asked questions, right? Okay, here's just a few examples. SurveyMonkey, Google, Zendesk, Amazon, Do-It-Yourself Network, Quora, Yahoo, eHow. In fact, if you had a giant scraping machine, you could pull back questions from all kinds of places. There are two primary categories of FAQ extraction. Again, FAQ means frequently asked question extraction within the ISDNA process. First is exoteric FAQ extraction. Exoteric means external, where you extract questions from internet-based services during the market research process. This is best for preemptive marketing purposes when you're trying to go to market or determine even if you should build a product. Very helpful. Esoteric extraction, that means internal to your organization. Esoteric means internal, where you extract questions from your company's own internal databases, such as help desks, professional surveys, and occasionally from weblog files even. The exoteric method of FAQ extraction is the most common and popular form of market research. Our favorite source for cache converting questions is Quora. Please do see our Quora Extractor software course given to all Network Empire members. If you want to take an intermission, we do also have a video. I do recommend that you can just Google Quora Inception if you're viewing us elsewhere. If you're inside the members area, please move over to the Quora area and take the time to watch this video. We will also include the Quora Inception video inside the ISDNA module of the networkempire.com basic membership area. Esoteric FAQ sources. Those are internal to your own organization. Remember, ESO means internal. Most business owners forget about esoteric FAQs because they're just too busy trying to survive. The best two databases to extract esoteric questions internal to your organization are your own help desk technologies. If you use Zendesk, you're in luck. It's easy to pull back questions that have been answered by your help desk. They're loaded with keywords and rich keywords that if you actually had web pages out there, you'd be getting tons of traffic to those web pages because the problems that your customer has are related and similar to the problems that you probably have out there in the real world in marketing land. Remember when I said earlier that we live in an era where education is the new marketing? That's absolutely the case, and you can take advantage of that. Number two, a survey database. You can use survey systems like SurveyMonkey or have your own internal survey system designed. You can actually give questions to your customers and clients or even your potential prospects and find out what it is they really think and what they want. You can extract the keywords out of it, and then you can highlight those keywords, provide new content, put them on the web to attract prospects and leads. The $4 million market research question is something that I advise that you undergo, that you take, that you actually process before you get too deeply into the ISDNA process, or before you complete your ISDNA matrix, which is essentially a spreadsheet that uses our template and allows you to kind of fuse together the frequently asked questions with the should ask questions. It makes the process of creating an ISDNA very, very easy. But it's also very helpful prior to that process to undergo the $4 million market research survey. It's very easy. So first things first, stop and do this. Go over to vitaminorpainkiller.com, read through the 5-page manual, and fill out your own painkiller manual. Is your product a vitamin or a painkiller? That's what that book is designed to help you do. It's fast, it takes you less than 20 minutes. You can answer the 5 questions at the end, and you're going to know if you've got challenges with your product or service. I do suggest that you do one product at a time because every product's different. Some are vitamins, some are painkiller. And remember, it's possible to reposition a vitamin as a painkiller and to reposition a painkiller as a vitamin that gives you broader reach across multiple categories within multiple contexts. We teach all of this inside the networkempiremembersarea.com, and it's easy. Here's the vitamin or painkiller video. you might want to take time to watch this. Inside the video, inside the Network Empire members area, this video is available. You can also YouTube this video under $4 million market research questions. So before you gather your ISDNA questions, the $4 million market research questions should have been answered, and here's what the score output looks like. Your excellent score configuration is when you discover that your product is a painkiller and there's an irrational passion behind it and that people are searching for it and there's few choices other than yours. That's the ultimate product. But most people aren't that lucky, and if you can find a good score, that would be ideal. Which is, is it a painkiller? No, it's not a vitamin. It's not, it's a vitamin. That's okay. Are there people with irrational passions around it? Well, yes. Well, what that means is that probably to some people, your vitamin is a painkiller just because they're addicted to collecting it, or it's a hobby, such as guitar players, who are constantly looking for more sheet music and more guitar chord bars and these types of things. Even though you can't say it's a painkiller, it's a painkiller to them because it's an irrational passion, a market that is a hobbyist market. Are they searching? Well, that's easy to check. Just use the last keyword tool or Kraken as the vertical online market analysis tool. We're going to tell you exactly how much money there is in that market and what the estimated value or total search market value for all the keywords in that market are over the course of a year. Are there a few choices out there, or are you competing with a whole lot of other people? That's something that's good to know. And there's an average score. Okay, and there's several combinations of all these. So go ahead and fill out your manual. Here's a poor score. It's a painkiller, but it's an irrational passion, but nobody's looking for it online. And there's, these are the things that you need to consider. All right, complete your ISDNA matrix. Once you've determined if your product or service is a vitamin or painkiller, you should complete your ISDNA matrix, okay? And we actually have an entire different video that reveals how to complete your ISD matrix available to members. And here's what one of the spreadsheets look like. There's a 7x7, a 12x12, and it depends on the size of your organization. Depending upon how large your company is and how many products you have and which products you're dealing with, that's how we decide how many frequently asked questions and should ask questions you can collect. You can collect as many as you want and make the transition to as many as you want. The more, the better. Mike Koenig in Traffic Geyser talked about this 10x10x4. He suggested that his users come up with 10 frequently asked questions and 10 should ask questions. Our purpose is quite a bit different than what Mike Koenig actually was teaching, because one of our primary purposes is to extract the keywords associated with each one. So for example, remember when I told you earlier that one of the frequently asked questions when we started ThemeZoom was, what is keyword research? And that was very common, so we still had to speak and rank for the word keyword research. And we came up with a should ask question based on our own innovation, meaning the product and service that we created, which is like, what is market research? Market research was related but stood in contrast to keyword research, because many of our students were confused about the difference between keyword research and market research. We would ask them in workshops and webinars what the difference was, and they would just give us a blank stare. That's when we realized we were in trouble, because even though we were positioning some of our products and services as a keyword research tool, we were also so much better than any keyword research tools out there, because we were actually taking vertical market research to account. Now, what that means is that we want to rank for keyword research, but we also realize that we need to start going for market research. So our frequently asked question contained these keywords, keyword research, whereas our should ask question had us targeting market research, market analysis, and other synonyms. Okay. What we did is, when we realized that market research was important, we used Kraken and the last keyword tool to find all the synonyms. If you don't have our natural language processing tools, that's fine. You can still find all the synonyms using the Google tilde key or anything else. But this should give you an idea of why we set up your frequently asked questions and why you should begin to pay attention to these keywords, because you're going to add the keywords, extract, and go ahead and go back. You're going to hand extract the parent themes and keywords from your frequently asked questions once you have your list done. You're going to put a reason, you're going to find the reason why and what they should really be asking. Okay, you're going to hand extract the keywords from your should ask questions. What you're going to find is this overlap between the keywords that people are already using to find products in your industry, and you're going to come up with other keywords. It's going to contain those, but also include better question keywords. And the key is the summary of reasons, confusions, and needs behind the new question that you're trying to encourage people to ask. Okay? And you notice that I said here, keyword research only shows a small piece of the picture. You need to understand how the keywords fit into your market and what percentage of the dollar value for the market they contain to select effective keywords for your market campaign. Voila! I just created a should ask question. Okay? So that's the beginning, and you do this for all 7 or 12 of your frequently asked questions and SAQs tied to a specific product or division of your company. And when you're done, what you're doing is you're setting up the ultimate marketing, branding, positioning, and ISDNA campaign, which probably far exceeds the logic and the thought process of your competitor. And once you've done that, you're going to have a much clearer story and a much clearer global market story. And I created this chart with David Bullock, davidbullock.com. And what he pointed out to me years ago is that the market story, the customer story, and your story need to converge. And they converge around your USP. And USP for us has changed to ISDNA. So you've got to pay attention to the story that the market is telling you and take all of these factors into account with your vision and your strategy. And the ISDNA process helps you automate as much of that process as you can, but it makes it very clear what's going on in the marketplace. Now that you've completed that DNA matrix, the ISDNA matrix, your industry solution, you should be more complete. You should have a more complete picture of the story the market is telling you about the needs, the problems, complaints, and questions. Questions tell a story like few types of data ever will. This is because stories are more human than machine, just like Larry Page was saying on our earlier slide about artificial intelligence. Once you have completed these 2 steps, you will be prepared to move to the next module, which is the plug-and-play branding and positioning checklist. Doesn't matter how large or small your company is, if you're a one-man band, if you've got a company of 2,000, this plug-and-play branding and positioning checklist will work just as well as the ISDNA process that I just laid out here. The only difference in the ISDNA process is if you're a large 2,000-person company or greater, is the number of FAQs that's going to be required around each product to drive the market and answer the questions that the market demands. I hope this has been useful for you. I so look forward to your success and seeing you on the inside of the Network Empire members area. My name is Russell Wright. We all look forward to seeing you on the inside.